Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon, depending on where you are. You are joined today by Fernando Catania, Christopher Cicero, and Ian O'Neill. Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
All right. So I'm in California, so it's 11 in the morning here still. Christopher, what time is it at home?
It is 2 p.m.
2 p.m. And you are where? Tell everyone where you're located.
I am just outside of Toronto in beautiful Ontario, Canada.
All right. So Christopher handles our business and manages our business in Canada. And I manage business here in the U.S. I'm based out of California. And then Ian, tell us the time where you're at. Tell us what you do.
2 o'clock here as well. I'm on the East Coast, based out of Connecticut, covering the eastern half of the United States for DGSHAPE.
Excellent. So thanks for joining us this morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. The topic of today is to show you some of the improvements and ways that you can expand your productivity with the hardware that you have in your laboratory or may be looking to implement in your laboratory. One of the trends that we see with the guys often is that laboratories today may have 1 or 2 mills dedicated to different processes. They may have a mill with multiple puck changer. They may have a single puck unit. They may have multiple single puck units, and they're dedicated to different workflows, or they may even have a wet mill dedicated to glass ceramic milling. So the topics we're going to touch on today are how to expand some of that productivity with some of the improvements that we've released to market recently. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the guys. Today is going to be a quick 30-minute presentation. Hopefully we enlighten you on something new that you can do in your laboratory with DGSHAPE equipment. All right?
All right, everybody. So I'm going to cover the dry mill portion of the DWX milling solutions that we have to offer today. So the DWX 52D and the DWX 52 DCI are our 2 dry mills that we currently offer. The 52D being a single puck machine and the 52 DCI being a 6-disc changer machine. The machines are very similar in their capabilities and the way that they function. The DCI just has the addition of the 6-disc changer. So both of these milling solutions offer entry-level as well as expert users an affordable solution and a really fantastic foundation for going CAD-CAM or adding to your CAD-CAM system. The like systems help you by reducing learning curve for current users and new users, which will get your employees or your team up and running faster by having like systems. So simplicity is really something that we try to focus on here. So one of the unique things about these 2 mills is they do feature material adapters that are usable in both machines. So previously we had a clamping system, and now we have moved into these material adapters, which if you have a 52D, you expand your business and then you have the opportunity to grow, you can add a DCI and you'd be able to move your pucks between each one of these machines seamlessly without ever having to remove them from the material adapter itself. You can see clearly here the MSRPs on this slide. And as far as the industry goes, these are very affordable pieces of equipment, which allows you to have your return on investment very quickly, continue to invest in your business. So that brings us to focus on our 52D. So both of these mills, their capabilities are milling of zirconia, which is its most popular use, as well as PMMAs, composite resins. A lot of people may not realize that the mills are actually capable of milling composite resin or hybrid blocks on Cerec universal type mandrels. So we do have a fixture that goes into each one of these devices, and it gives you the ability to mill veneers, inlays, onlays out of these block materials by using a specialized hybrid tool. You would require the hybrid tool to be able to mill those materials inside of this machine. So also PEEK, pectin, fiber reinforced materials like a Trilor from Harvest. Those are also able to be milled inside of this machine. Those materials are becoming much more popular these days, giving people the ability to be able to mill substructures or bars out of a material that's different than titanium in-house. It prevents you from having to outsource. Titanium bars are expensive. You know, if you're outsourcing, you have to consider waiting for that bar to come back and making sure it fits your case properly. So it can reduce your downtime as well by being able to mill those materials in-house. We could also mill sinter type metals, which is a metal that would have to go into a argon furnace, sintering furnace, to be able to be brought to its final state and its final metal state to be used for framework, substructures, whatever you would like to do. So something we're going to talk about here shortly is also the ability to mill removable applications inside of this mill. So one of those is a mill denture. We can do that various ways. We're going to talk about one of them here shortly. That could be a pre-manufactured puck that you might purchase from a reseller or a roll and dealer. Flexible partials, clear partials, tissue shaded partial material as well for removable prosthetics. So we have a large variety of materials that we're able to produce in these machines to really think about the flexibility of these workflows, you know, the versatility of the machines overall. I mean, think about how many times you walk into a dental lab and you see a roll and mill inside of an office or a laboratory these days. And most commonly they're used for fixed prosthetics like crown and bridge work. So maybe it's a crown and bridge laboratory who's never had the personnel or the opportunity or expertise to be able to start offering removable. Now they have a piece of equipment already that would allow them to start doing removable work digitally. So it's very versatile. Just like that scenario I just explained, crown and bridge over to offering removable. A removable lab who maybe hasn't gone digital yet can bring on this piece of equipment and can now even start to consider doing some crown and bridge work with you know, the CAD systems that we see today and the simple cams and mills like the DGSHAPE mills. You know, that's a possibility where maybe they didn't have the ability to have a ceramist in-house before. So the versatility in these packages are a great solution. So both of these mills are a 5-axis mill. They are ball screw driven systems. So it gives it more accurate movement in the axes when it's milling things like undercuts for tissue design or undercuts in crown, maybe in the CEJ where the tooth meets the gingiva. You know, you spend a lot of time in your CAD system designing. You want those results to reflect in your milled restoration. So the 5th axis is very, very important. We do have intelligent tool technology inside of these machines, and that offers the ability to have backup or sister tools, as we call them. So if you're running overnight production or a long milling job and you're not there on site and that tool life does expire on your tool, once it finishes that procedure, the next time it needs that tool, it would go back to the tool holder and pick up the fresh tool or the sister tool. So it allows you to not be on site, some more flexibility, and it ensures that your case is going to come out correctly. You're not going to have chipped margins or chipped implant sites. So great level of protection and a great level of productivity there. We have the V panel, which is basically the brain of our system, which tells the mill when to start, stop, and when to calibrate, you know, keeps track of all your tool lives. Everything is right there in one location. And whether you have a 52 DCI or 42W, all of those mills can be run off of that one V panel. Fernando, I don't know if you have the ability to run the camera. Is that something we have the ability to do?
Yeah, you want to show them the inside of the machine?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, so inside of the machine, we have an ionizer, which, you know, is not something that every mill out in the industry has. Where Fern is pointing right now is the ionizer, where the air is blown into the machine to blow away mill debris from the site of the restoration. So the ionizer reduces the static inside of the machine. A lot of that static is created by the suction unit connected to it. So that ionizer allows the material, when you're milling PMMA, maybe it's denture bases, to drop to the bottom of the machine and be evacuated out. We want to keep those sites clean for a variety of reasons. You know, we want to keep a clean mill as a running mill. We want to keep up with our maintenance. It also will help us maintain our tool life. So if we have all that mill debris building up when we're milling restorations, that material can be recut by the tool, which is going to reduce our tool life. So keeping the machine clean is very, very important. And that, go ahead, Fern.
Yeah, well, one of the things I was going to say, one of the issues that you find with debris, during milling, obviously it presents issues. It could bind up on the tools, but also having PMMA debris over your ATC could hinder the tools from going back into their positions. So having a design where the cavity of the machine goes towards the back by design, it's a completely hermetic cavity. So the suction is 100% efficient. And furthermore, the ionizer that Ian mentioned keeps static down so that when you're milling PMMA, you don't have PMMA residue all over the cavity of the machine.
Correct. It's also going to reduce your maintenance time and your cleaning time. So connected to that ionizer and that air pressure is the air regulator itself. And one thing that's been added in the 52 series mills from the 51 is the automatic air pressure adjustment. So in our previous mills, when you would change between a zirconia or a PMMA or plastic type material, you would have to make a regulator adjustment to bring that air pressure up or down. Obviously, we don't want zirconia debris blown all over the machine. So now in the system, the V panel communicates with the PRN file generated by the cam and adjusts the air automatically. So it's one less manual step that the end user has to handle. And what we're showing here now, Fern is showing the changer portion of the machine, which is an additional cabinet off of the left side of the unit itself. And we have 6 material slots. This is what our material adapter looks like. Now, if you were in the 52 machine, you would be putting these material adapters in manually. They pop right into place and with a push of the hand, and then are secured by some clamps. So the idea behind this is to add your puck when you first begin using it and never have to remove it from this adapter again. Each one of the mills comes with 6 of these adapters, and you do have the option of purchasing additional. And they come in 6 packs. So they're nice and easy to use. We also sell material adapter racks so you can store your pucks nice and organized on top of the unit and make sure that your team is functioning well. So that is our DCI. The nice thing about the cabinet as well, if there is something inside of the milling chamber and you have work pieces inside of the changer which are complete, you are able to open that cabinet while the mill is running and be able to swap out milled pucks with new material adapters. So you're essentially, once you start this machine in the morning or at night, the idea is to keep it running continuously. Good. What I want to talk to you guys about is some of the versatility. You know, we've been talking about versatility in production. Maybe you're a Crown and Bridge laboratory who's looking to go digital. This is a great solution. Our new TRK system gives you the ability to be able to mill dentures in-house. So one of the benefits to this is really the material selection that you would have. So as you can see here, the kit itself, which you could purchase for any of the 52 series, it's important to know that this kit would only work in a 52 mil, the 52D or the 52 DCI. You get silicone molds, as you can see there. You're going to get 3 of these. So you'd be able to pour your denture acrylic, your pourable denture acrylic. That's traditional material. So it's not a resin. It's not a pre-manufactured puck. On demand as you need them. It's also going to come with some of the mold tips, which are going to help secure that puck into place inside of the fixture. You can see the clear tips here, also in the holder there. It's also going to include 3 of these TRK fixtures, which simulate the diameter of a 98 or 98.5 millimeter puck, which would allow this to be inserted inside of that material adapter, which we just showed you in that DCI. And it's also going to come with a 2 millimeter flat end tool, which is going to do the roughing procedure to remove material in a faster manner than it would if it was using a ball end type tool. So that larger surface would do the roughing procedure, cutting that excess material out of the way, bringing those milling times down. So we talk about production. We've talked about the importance of materials. just to go back to materials really quick, if you have the ability to use a traditional acrylic and you're already a removable laboratory, your technicians are probably very comfortable with the materials they've been working with. If your technicians are comfortable, it means they're going to be more productive. They're going to produce work quicker. So we're going to cut out some of those manual and tedious steps by letting the mill do some of the work instead of the technician doing it by hand, and produce, as we can see here, our denture bases with the milled sockets. Now we can mill a denture base with that 2 millimeter flat tool in roughly about 2.5 hours. So though this is not as fast as printing a denture base, it does offer the strength, the predictability, and the reliability of the traditional denture acrylic that you've come to know, your doctors have come to know, and if your patient is getting a replacement removable prosthetic, it's what they're expecting. You're not replacing it with a print type material that might be more translucent, feel different. So we're giving them something, we're giving you a workflow that has a tried and true material that you can believe in, which you're going to be able to repair just like you always have, and you're going to be able to reline. So there's quite a bit of benefit to sticking with a traditional material. So those, the teeth, you can mill a full arch of teeth in about an hour and 45 minutes, which allows us to produce a full denture, teeth and base in about 4 hours. So though you might think to yourself, hey, 4 hours for a denture is quite a bit longer than maybe a printed solution, the idea behind the DCI is to keep this machine running all night. Maybe all day you're running your crown and bridge work and sintering it overnight, which means you have bandwidth overnight. So if you design your denture cases during the day, you can, before you leave, you can load in 4 denture-based pucks and 2 PMMA pucks and come in the morning while that machine runs all night long. When you get in, you have 4 dentures ready to be put together. So we've talked about material quite a bit, and one of the advantages to pouring your own puck, number one, is material versatility. So maybe you like GC Nature Acryl, maybe you like Noble Tone, whatever it might be, you're able to use that portable acrylic that you've always used. Now, there's a different cost scale to these acrylics. You know, there might be a more expensive one that's high end, and that's going to affect the cost of you pouring your own puck. So in the industry today, if you're purchasing pre-manufactured pucks, you can see denture-based pucks going from anywhere over $100 to more commonly around $65. Now, personally, I have worked with GC Nature Acryl when performing this workflow, which is what I have here and what I've shown you. And this is, sorry if you can't see this very well, this is a fully milled denture out of GC Nature Acryl. And the GC Nature Acryl pourable material has 7 different shades. So you can pour them on demand. You don't have to have a huge inventory not knowing what kind of case is going to come in, what shade the base is going to be. So you can pour them on demand. You can pour your own in-house out of GC Nature Acryl for $21.42. So I have users currently, they've given me ROI as low as $6. I've had people tell me $16 per puck, but here with the GC Nature Acryl, $21.42 is the cost of pouring a puck out of that material.
I think that illustrates an extension to the dry milling technology that we have, with giving you the ability to have a higher aesthetic result and an economy solution for dry mills. So we'll take some Q&A at the end. I think a couple questions popped up during the session, and then we'll address them after Christopher shares with us some of the updates and expansions that we've done to our wet milling technology. So go ahead, Christopher.
Thank you. So we'll do a brief overview of the 42W as well. And for those of you who don't know, the DWX 42W is our 2nd generation wet mill, which allows you to mill glass ceramics, composite resins, all these new hybrid materials that come, as Ian had mentioned before, on the Ceric mandrel. Materials such as Vita Suprinity, Vita Anamic, and others similar to it. What we're really excited about with this right now is the ability to mill custom titanium abutments on the DWX 42W. And this is in thanks in part to our new internally designed spindle with our decades of knowledge of milling. We've created this really robust spindle on this unit. And similar to our other dry mills, this has lots of tool holding positions. We have 6 tool holding positions in this mill, so you can fill it up with all of the tools that you will need. And similar to our dry mills, it's got the V-panel software that can easily monitor what's going on with the machine and alert the user when it's finished or if anything has come up. One of the most exciting things about the wet mill here, the 42W, is that the Millbox CAM software is included, which is a really big advantage with this mill. So adding this to your lab or to your clinic, it's really simple add-on to increase production. So this is the AK1, and this is how we do our custom abutments. And it's a really simple kit that's a quick add-on to our DWX 42W. And like I mentioned, it will allow you to take the pre-milled titanium blanks from a variety of manufacturers, including NT Trading, Geomedica, and Medentica. And you can simply, there's a different adapter for each of those abutment blanks. And if we have a video that we'll play for you guys right now that will briefly go over the workflow. So the video is really going to show guys and girls how simple it is to be able to do this with your wet mill. So in terms of the CAM software, you already have Millbox included. So all of the CAM would be handled by the Millbox wet version. And you would just simply pick the adapter of your blanks that you like to use in-house, whether it's NT Trading, Medentica, or the Geomedi ones. So what we're going to do first is the burrs that go with the titanium kit are different than our grinding burrs. These are more like the end mills that you would see. And for this, we have a 3, a 2, and a 1 millimeter end mill, especially for cutting titanium. And then, like I mentioned, we have our range of attachments that we can see there. And this simply fits into the number 2 spot and will allow us to hold our pre-machined blank. Each brand has its own proprietary tip there, so you would need a different holder to hold the different blanks. And we're doing one at a time here. And one of the questions is why 1 when you can hold 3? And that is because we're doing lathe milling. We'll quickly swap out our tray there with an included filter in the kit. And this will catch all the metal shavings and protect our filters. Slide it back in there. And it's literally that easy. We're ready to start milling. And what we'll see here is it will start with our largest burr, the 3 millimeter, measure itself off like all our machines do for the automatic length there. And then it's going to be turning it there, reducing the size via lathe milling, which is the best result for quality of finished product. We can see the net shape starting to show there. It will then grab the second burr, and the second burr will start the finishing. So start polishing it, really starting to define that shape there as it works to complete the final detail there. We can see our custom abutment taking shape. We'll go to grab our third burr, and the third burr, our finishing burr, will really get that final detail there, really just get an incredibly polished look going on that abutment. And we can see it's nicely cleaned up there. And what our result is a biomechanical connection in an ideal support line formed for the superstructure. So you're going to have great fit and finish time in, time out with this kit, milling your custom abutments in-house. As he's paused there on the video, it's, as you can see there, it's just fantastic looking. I mentioned the AK1, there are 2 parts to the kit. And we can see here on the left, we have our actual AK1 which includes in the upper left-hand corner there, the screen filter to filter out all those metal shavings. To the right of that, we have our set of titanium milling burrs. And below both of those, we have our torque screwdriver to ensure that you don't over tighten the screws. And then our tray there, just our receptacle waste tray. Then to the right of that, the second part of this kit is you would need to select which one or multiple ones of these holders you would need. So as I mentioned before, each abutment blank from each different manufacturer has their own proprietary tip. So as we can look at the different holders there, we can see the opening is different for each. So the Geomedi is a small hole, the Meddentica one in the middle is a large opening, and then the NT Trading at the bottom there is like a little square. So for about $1,400, you can bring abutment milling in-house, have quicker turnaround time, lower the cost. The ROI on this is really great when you consider that I know in Canada here, an abutment blank is about $55. And the cost of the kit here is really makes the ROI really quick turnaround on that.
Excellent. I think that those are two solutions. The time reduction kit for the pouring of your own pucks for your dry mills, which works both on the DCI and the D, and the AK1 is a really nice expansion to any laboratory that has a DWX based workflow. So, and again, we're seeing just obviously linear expansion of production lines in laboratories due to their CAN capabilities today.
Definitely. And just to add to that, both of these kits deliver premium products. So that custom abutment there is a premium product. The mill denture is a premium product. So you're going to get premium prices for those as well.
With that said, we will now share some of the promotions we have going on. And again, we're trying to answer to the needs of laboratories that are looking to expand. And so we have some promotions that speak to that need. And I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. Some of the programs we have going on. Leasing through Geneva Capital, they've come up with a program to ease the upgrade path to Roland DG technology and DWX mills. So here's a program you can find on our website. You can talk to your Roland DGSHAPE dealer about, which is our Upgrade Easy program. And all dealers have some shape of leasing program or financing. Our productivity bundles, we have our bundle wet dry productivity promotion, which ends at the end of this quarter. So with that, you get the ability to implement 2 DWX 52 DCI units. You get up to 24 adapters and a wet mill of 42W, and a total savings of approximately $15,000 on that. Then we have our other productivity bundle, which is the ability to implement 2 52 DCI units with up to 24 adapters, and you get a total savings of $10,500 on that as well. You can contact your dealer directly for an instant rebate on that promotion. And then the dry mill, we mentioned the wet mill upgrade path. You can also participate in the dry mill update path, which is a 6K promotion, rebate, instant rebate off your 52D. And those are all promotions currently running that you can contact your Roland DGSHAPE dealer. With that said, guys, anything else to wrap it up today?
A question came in regarding maintenance just now, and I think it's worth mentioning that all of the Roland dental mills come with a 2-year warranty that would help cover that maintenance. So that 2-year warranty would give you peace of mind for those entire 2 years, and you could expand that an additional 3 years for a total of 5 years for peace of mind with your investment.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me this morning, covering some of the new things that we got going on. with our mills, but I hope that was helpful to those that participated today. And please contact us with any questions. Again, our Roland DG website is rolanddga.com or DGShapeAmericas.com, and you can go to the DWX section and chat us up through there, and or inquire with your local Roland DG/DGShape reseller. All right, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Feel free to reach out to us with any additional questions.
Excellent.